All right, hello and welcome. We are back. We are here for the Southampton versus Burnley preview. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let's get into it. All right. That was the smoothest intro, wasn't it?
Nailed
I
it,
just
nailed it,
fluffed
man.
my only line I had, and I did it. But
Mike picked up a knock in the international break, so he's
I
he
did.
might not be 100% tonight.
I've come back slightly injured.
He might only do 70 minutes,
So we're back after the international break, and arguably quite an interesting international break. We've had Southampton players involved quite significantly. Prowsey getting a goal for England, which is fantastic to see, and Shea Adams getting a goal, and Minamino getting one of 14 goals. So it's not been the dullest. I'll be honest with you, me and Jack didn't watch a lot of the football, did we?
No,
Do you watch any of it?
I just don't care about internationals when they're not a World Cup. I honestly think all international games should just be held off until the summer. Like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
We have off summers. Let them just play then. Like, why intervene on the season, especially this season? So I just didn't care. I just didn't care. Apart from when I saw Ward-Prowse scored, and I thought, yes. The best thing about that, did you see the footage of them training, the England team training?
Yeah, I did. When he was banging them in all over.
And he was just banging them in. Everyone's like, whoa, Ward-Prowse is... And I was like, yeah. And like, I think this international break, I think a lot of people have suddenly realised just how good this guy is.
Which is a worry, in a way.
It is a worry.
It's like, Prowse had a great game for England. Prowse had a great game for England. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're always thinking. But
Exodus!
No. Look at that. We're like 2 minutes in and already we're sort of doom and glooming it.
It's not good. It's fine. But you are right, though. That is, as soon as I think, he's making waves, it's like, oh no, he's making waves.
All right, but
the only thing about Prowse is that how old is he now? 20. He's my age, so 26, going on 27.
Mm-hmm.
I mean 18.
Little bit younger than me.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, 27. I was like, he's captain for us. Maybe there's a hope. We've got a little. I look at Mark Noble. I'm like, Prowse, be Mark Noble. Be our Mark Noble. Just stay here. You might win something.
Yeah.
Just be loyal. Just be
maybe.
Like, I hope so. Coming from from the academy up, you're like, please just stay. You've seen your friends go and it didn't work.
They're all sat on the bench. Just stay here and do it.
Do you want to go to Brighton with Lallana?
Yeah, good point.
God,
that's a good shout.
You look at that sort of team, those sort of players. A lot of them left and just they didn't do great.
No, absolutely.
However, some have done great.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw might be
so. So here we are for our preview for the upcoming game of Burnley. Welcome to everyone in the chat section. Thanks for joining us. Look at that. We've got Kieran in the room already.
Oi.
Welcome along, fella. I was watching. That was a great... everyone go and subscribe to Kieran. He had a great show with the Championship guys who are looking at promotion. Actually, he had a Bournemouth fan on there that I felt sorry for, which is a bit weird. But
why?
I'm just being honest. Because of that goal line technology thing,
Don't know what you're on about, mate.
All right, forget that.
I don't even know what team you're talking about. Bournemouth?
So, here we are for this game against Burnley. Now, looking at the table and where we are, we're level on points. Both teams have got 33 points. Both teams have seen ups and downs in their form. Burnley had a horrific start to the season. The game we played against them at Turf Moor ended in 1-0 to Southampton. An away win at Burnley. We don't often see that. Not many clubs often see that, actually. And a game that I thought maybe, we were a bit fortuitous to hold on to a 1-0 win, but we got the job done. And here we are in match week, whatever we're on, 30-something. Was it 31? Match week 31?
Yes.
Something like that.
I literally just looked at it.
I've got no notes. I've got no notes.
This is hard, isn't it? Match week 30. You were close.
Oh, look at that. So we're both on 33 points. There's still a bit of a buffer, shall we say, between that area.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of the game as it stands, whoever wins this game has a lot to achieve, really, because it sort of gives an even bigger buffer to where it is. Are you feeling? What are your thoughts on this one, Jay? I mean, do you think a lot of players are going to be coming back fit for this one? So it kind of feels like we're ready to go at full fitness again. What do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying that it's Burnley that we're playing, because I feel like Burnley's the wrong kind of game. You look at, to be fair, our record against Burnley isn't good. I think our last home win against them was 2016. It's one of the very few notes I have. And so it's like, the way they play.
Was that a 3-1?
Yes, it was.
I was at that game. Yeah, I remember.
And it was. They play super defensive. It's sort of a game that can kind of. I feel like it's going to be a real dry game. Like, I feel like we just don't play well against these kind of teams that don't play attacking, don't try to come forward and play. They will sit defensively. It'll be first goal wins kind of thing. Again, unless Southampton, might have that nice thing of like Burnley score first and then we just switch on.
Yeah,
I feel like we're the side that should go forward. We're home, like you say. All these players are back. We are almost full fitness. It will be a full starting 11 squad.
Yeah,
so you'd hope that we're going to do the job. And we've got, and like you say, it's so much to play for. It is a 6-point game. I know it's a weird part of the table that not a lot of people care about, but it is a 6-point game. So just jump ahead of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's going to be difficult.
I mean, when we looked at the fixtures a couple of weeks back before the Brighton game, we were looking at thinking, okay, we got Brighton, we got Burnley, we got West Bromwich Albion, so we've got a good group of games there that we should be picking up points.
Yeah,
and I think everyone looked at the Brighton game and thought, yep, can do this. Brighton can't score, they can't score. All we got to do is score a goal. We've won this game, and look what happened. And I look back at that game and I thought we played terribly. It was one of the worst performances that we've seen. But I don't think we gave enough credit to how well Brighton played on that day. I thought they had, they out-tacticked us. And I think I saw that. I can't remember who they were playing in the following game, but they also picked up a win in the following game. And, did tremendously well there as well. So I think it doesn't change the fact that we couldn't string two passes together in that game, and we were just kind of caught out by a bit of lack of experience in the squad that we put out there. But
you're right in the sense that it was almost Graham Potter beat Ralph, but it was more of the sense that Graham Potter beat Ralph's tactics because the players just kind of gave up. It was Graham Potter brought his team there to be, to win, to do something, and we just came in heads low. It was honestly. It was a game where it felt like, do we have someone off the pitch? What's missing? Like, players were missing. It was terrible. And this comment here is right. It's same for Newcastle. It'll be a game where we were probably expecting something, but because they play a really dire version of way of football, it's not. It's that ball. It's just defensive. That soak it up, try and get them on the break. We really struggle against that. So same as the last game, 1-0. It's we just can't seem to break teams down very well. But because we've got Walcott, Walcott's back, Ings is back, Shea's scoring left, right, and centre, even for Scotland. I can only imagine Ward-Prowse's confidence is sky high right now. Like I said, that the clip of him training with the England team, when he's smashing them in, and the keeper saying, "Cool, Prowse, you're wicked at finishing like that."
Yeah.
And you see that little smile on his face. You're like, he's loving it. He knows he's the boy. He knows he's the boy. And then what did he do in the game? Bam! The exact thing he'd been doing. It was great. So
it's so good.
I'm just happy that Ward-Prowse is playing really well. So I think going into this game, morale should be up.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't seen that clip, by the way, of the England training, it's brilliant. And I especially like the bit at the end when the goalkeeper goes to pick the ball out of the net. He says, "Oh, Prowsey, mate, you're not even supposed to be here today." He was like proper fed up. I was like, picking it out of the back of that, which is great. So, but you're absolutely right. It's going to give unending amounts of confidence to all those players, and Shaylam's included. You know, he hasn't left the football pitch without putting the ball in the back of the net since that Sheffield game. You know, okay, he's had a few ruled off for offside, but he's, you know, that's got to be doing great things for his confidence. But the thing still stands is we have to get a win in the league, and unfortunately, just beating Sheffield United isn't gonna do much for the morale of the club and the league. And you know, we look at these games coming up, and I'm looking at Sunday, and I'm thinking, got all these players coming back fit. You know, we have to be looking at this as a winnable. It's definitely a winnable game.
Oh, it's definitely winnable.
So
but I always think it's winnable going against Burnley. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen because of the way Burnley play and the way that they do. Like, this is just a difficult game. Burnley's difficult for everyone in the league.
Yeah.
Because they're just a pain in the ass. Like, Dyche just makes them do this job. So they're becoming this Premier League staple of just like they're just an hard club to beat.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do much, but they're on their day they can just do anything. So it's just difficult. It is the game that's like you look at the league. It's like coming back. It's like, yeah, this is a good game to have. If we win, that's 3 points clear of the people behind us. It's a good way to go, you know. But it's like, why did it have to be Burnley? Like, it could have been any of the other ones. Burnley just upset everyone. Look, it's bloody Burnley. It's the common phrase.
I know it does make me. It worries me a bit with like the likes of. They played Everton, and they looked amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not Burnley. They're like, you know, banging them in from outside the box and sort of, you know, literally taking every chance they've got. I'm thinking, this doesn't look like Burnley to me. This is not Burnley Football Club playing.
This is football.
Yeah, this is scary stuff, and you know, they have the capabilities to do that as well. So let's hope we don't see that on Sunday. But yeah,
in reality, the last comment there from Dexter is right. It's a game that's got a draw written all over it, but we don't do draws here.
We won't get on score prediction just yet because I can see Jack's about to boil over on that idea of someone predicting a draw. Just
I've already had to tell people on Instagram to back that up, but yeah.
But looking at the other clubs release, I think I've got a graphic up here. I'm not sure if it's up to date.
Oh my god, he's got a graphic, guys.
I don't know. I put it up on the last one. I'm not sure if it's something that's relevant or up to date here.
I mean, there's not been a game since, has there? So,
or did I delete it?
Oh,
it's gone. It's gone. I don't have it. But looking at the clubs beneath us, you know, you got the likes of Newcastle.
Yeah.
Brighton still beneath us. Burnley are on goal difference, I think, only. But Newcastle have got a very tough run of games, and I just don't see them picking up many points from what they've got remaining. Is that fair?
Yeah, I watched a video. I've watched a few videos actually about Newcastle's, like, what they've got coming up, and you know, it's nothing that's good for them. You know, there's the Mike Ashley conspiracy of relegation. I don't know if you've seen these stories.
Yeah, I did.
You know, that's interesting. It does kind of make a little bit of sense when you hear someone talk you through it. It's like, oh, it does sound like he could be sending the club down for his own personal gain. Like, but
that's a weird one, though. That is a weird one.
It is. It's I feel bad for Newcastle fans. You know, I don't understand how you felt bad for a Bournemouth fan, but I do truly understand. I do feel bad for Newcastle because they're too big a club, you know, to be treated that way. You know, I know we can all complain about Giles, but is he as bad as Mike Ashley?
No, because he keeps his mouth shut.
Exactly. So, you know, he doesn't own Sports Direct. So, you know,
but
we're JD Sports here, boy.
You could say, sorry, I'm trying to get that graphic on the screen. I'm trying to do multiple things at once during a live stream. This is just so ambitious, but here we go.
He's trying it, guys.
I'm trying.
I'm doing it for you.
And I keep chatting whilst I'm doing it. Let's hope this doesn't blow up.
In the right thing. Just in the right thing. But yeah, Newcastle are in a poor shape, especially with Fulham looking good. Like, Scott Parker's got them going. finally found the form and the team's gelling. Even like Lamina looks pretty decent. Reed looks good. Like the players that we would be looking at in that team are like, oh, they're finally playing a little bit for Fulham.
Yeah.
So that's got to worry them. And Steve Bruce is just bad, isn't he? You know what I mean? It's just he's done it.
I've done it. I've got the graphic up.
Yeah.
So this is how the league table looks as it stands at the moment. But I think Fulham kind of dropped the ball. They had the opportunity to beat Leeds at home. I thought that was the game that might sort of send it into momentum. But it's so tight down there. I mean, you look at that game that we played Newcastle that we should have won. We should have won. We shouldn't have lost that 3-2 against 9 men on the pitch. It's ridiculous. So you take that out of the equation, and Newcastle in the relegation zone. So but a lot can happen in these remaining games. They've got 8 games left to play. That's
it's not a good
20 something points, 24 points, 24 points to play for.
Quick maths there, mate. I love that.
Yeah, quick maths. Got it in there. So 24 points to play for.
It's gonna be a fun end of the season. Fulham Newcastle last game of the season is going to be immense.
Mm-hmm.
Could be absolutely immense. I would hopefully it's be decided by them. But
yeah,
but when you look at the teams around us as well, when you look at where Wolves are, in comparison where they should be and the players they bought,
mm-hmm.
You look at.
Well, that's the nuts thing, isn't it?
Look how far Villa have gone down to 10th after being.
Yeah.
It's all sort of leveling out a little bit.
That is the crazy thing when you look at it. It's like one win and you jump over Wolves. I mean, no one talks about Wolves being in a relegation fight, do they?
No, that's the thing. It's literally,
no one.
We beat Wolves and we'll go up. Sorry, we beat we win tomorrow and we go up. It's so people just really get frustrated quickly, don't they? They get angry quickly. But you can't blame them. I mean, like if you look at like our form this season, it's either been really you go into a game and we're really good or we're terrible.
Mm-hmm.
There's no 50-50. there's nothing in the middle. We never really run on 60 or 50%. It's either 100 or none.
Yeah, the highs and lows of being a Saints fan. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really. I think the season really sort of does show you the full spectrum of what it's like to be us.
It does. So let's jump straight into. Let's get this graphic off the screen that I spent ages finding. You're welcome, everyone. Let's get into our starting 11. Let me put up a banner to say that.
God. We've got this as well now, don't we? So
that predicted 11, sticking that in there. Sick flex, bro. Right, come on. Here we go. Right, here is. And I haven't entered anyone because Jack, for the first week, I'm going to let you pick the starting 11.
All of them?
All of them. Who are you going in goal?
Anthony Amy. Yeah, so goal, it's got to be Fraser Forster.
Yeah?
It's got to be Forster. I mean, you just look at the FA Cup. You just look at everything. Like Forster's got to start. He's the better keeper right now. He's got the momentum. He's got what we need. He's stopping shots.
Yeah,
that's all we need. That's all we need. Yeah. And to be fair, his ball work isn't terrible. They just know they can't rely on him. If it goes back to Forster in that pass in the passing game, he's going to launch it upfield, and that's all you can do about it.
Yeah, absolutely great. We haven't even talked about the Bournemouth game. He had a great game in that Bournemouth game, and he made really a couple of very good saves. So yeah. I agree with you. I think it'd be an interesting statement, whatever Ralph puts out in the goalkeeper position on Sunday. Kind of might tell us a bit more what he really thinks of Alex McCarthy or Fraser Forster. I have a weird feeling it's going to go for McCarthy, if I'm honest.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I just don't know. I feel I just saw a comment there saying Southampton 2.0. I do like the idea we come back from this international break, and this is the point where we just end our season strong. We finish it like last season.
We needed a break.
How nice! Yeah, we needed a break, and just imagine how nice it would be for that to end the season. That sort of run against, okay, I know this is a lofty thought, but that sort of unbeaten, okay, the last 8 games of the season, we just don't lose. That's something I would really like. Obviously, I would love, but we saw it last season. great to just see, like, okay, everyone's back, everyone's playing. This is what something's meant to be.
Absolutely. I hope you don't mind, Jack, but I've just put in the right and left back because we've only got one choice. So there's no point in asking you or anyone.
He might be he might put Salasu at the backs. You know, he might do what we did the other week.
Can you imagine if you put Stevens in right back? That'd be probably the first live stream that I would turn off. Like, literally, do you know what? No, not having this.
Don't need to watch it. Don't need to watch it.
So who are you going in centre defence?
I mean, again, this is not really a question, is it? It's Vestergaard and it's Bednarek.
Yeah, great game for Bednarek in the Polish squad.
Yep. Oh yeah. Really good. I saw today he's got the most interceptions in the Premier League this season thus far.
Any practice?
He's pretty good at it. He does. He is good at that ball retention and getting it back. You know, you see a lot. But yeah, I think you look at that back four, you think, oh, you just wouldn't change it, would it? Just wouldn't change it. So much for me putting in the team. He's going for it. He's got Diallo in there. Well, you might as well throw James Ward-Prowse in there.
I'm putting Diallo because we've only got one number 6 left, haven't we?
Yeah. It's Jack Stevens. Why are you forgetting he's in the squad, man? It's like you don't want him to play. That's not on.
So, do you agree, Diallo?
Yeah,
you do.
Obviously, okay. I'm not stupid.
Okay, fine. Are we putting Prowsey here? Do we believe that his minor injury was just a knock, just a precaution?
Yeah, so do you know what? I saw like an article up today saying Ward-Prowse, I believe. I was like, it really panicked me at first, and I looked at the date and I was like, there's not a lot in this. So
I hate April Fool's thing. I didn't put anything out on the channel. I just yeah.
Do you know what? I don't like
people are anxious enough as it is without silly jokes like that. So,
do you know what? I woke up this morning. I was really quite groggy, and the first thing I saw when I was sort of like waiting my coffee was an article about Stonehenge moving back to Wales. I was like, "What?" it took me a few minutes to be like, "Oh yeah, it's April 1st." But at the same time, doesn't that sound like something they'd be stupid enough to do? They're already putting a road underneath it. Why wouldn't they move it? So
maybe.
So back to this. Yeah, Carl will compete. So yeah, James Ward-Prowse, Diallo in the middle.
Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, doesn't it? So what are you thinking on the left and right side here, Jack?
My question is Minamino back, or is he in quarantine?
That's a great question. Does anyone in the chat session know?
Yeah, that's I was hoping there was a press conference today, but
I know we ballsed up on that. Sorry, everyone. We thought there was going to be a presser today, so that we'd have news.
I kind of forgot the game was Sunday, to be honest. So, you know, whatever. But yeah, so it's annoying, but we don't know. But Minamino, I don't know whether he's playing or not. So if he is playing, I would say he's going to start. But I've got a feeling that he's quarantined, so I doubt he's playing.
Okay.
But I would start Armstrong.
I like that. I don't hate that. I like that a lot.
And
another great game against Bournemouth for me.
Yeah, he really, really did. Now this is the question, Mike: do you start Redmond, or do you start Walcott, or do you start Gineppo, or do you start Teller?
The thing is, if you start Walcott, he's starting him where Armstrong's playing. He's not starting him on the left.
Yeah, you're right, aren't you? And I think Armstrong's. You'd rather Armstrong be playing, wouldn't you?
Yeah, just being honest. Yeah, it's a tough one, but you look at the kind of success that I just see. I see Hasenhüttl going for experience in this game.
Yeah, we just need to get it done, don't we? Like it's a game that we have to get it done.
And whether that experience means Stuart Armstrong or Theo Walcott, I honestly don't know the answer to that question.
It is hard. I would probably say if Theo's fit, he's probably the one to start because it's Theo, and you know, quote unquote, you could say he is the more experienced head, and I think Armstrong fits in the system better. It's difficult. It is really, really difficult. Yeah. No, we might go nuts and start Shea and Theo up top and leave Danny on the bench.
Yeah.
Sorry, Danny. He's been scoring, so you got to sit on the bench.
Minamino is still in quarantine. Okay, there we go. So Minamino's out.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
I don't know what that comment there is great. Redmond has to be rewarded, otherwise what message is it send? I mean, he was so good in that Bournemouth game. He was so good.
Yeah, he was.
But he was so bad before it. Like he was so.
Where did he play? Where did he play in the Bournemouth game? He played up front though, didn't he? he played up front with Shea.
Yeah, it was sort of him and Shea up top, wasn't it?
Yeah, and because that was the question, like, because he had a man of the match performance, but we all knew Danny Ings was going to be coming back fit for the next game. So where does that put Redmond?
And also, I think if Redmond, Danny, and Shea all start, they're crowded. It's a crowded. It's too much of a crowded box for all three of them to be playing because Nathan will push forward and he will start playing in that role.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it worked quite well when it was Redmond, Danny, and Minamino. You know,
against Chelsea, yeah, absolutely.
He was playing really. I mean, that ball to Minamino was fantastic. He did really good stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to say start Redmond because he
as
bad as he's been, before the break. That last performance was so good.
Yeah.
And I do agree that in the interview afterwards, he didn't seem like the guy who just had one of those games.
Yeah, he was quite muted, wasn't he?
He's quite muted, and I don't know whether that's him thinking, if he's still a little bit cautious about himself, or he's just he didn't sound driven. He was like, yeah, it's difficult. It's hard, but I'm going to say start Redmond because there's enough. It's not like if you start him and he plays poorly, you can't sub him. There's so many options on the bench.
Yeah. I don't see him being.
Gineppo's been playing really well as well, so Gineppo should be playing there. Oh my god, this is good though, isn't it? Having a little bit of tough decisions to make.
Well, our bench is going to look amazing for the first time in months, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're literally looking at the squad thinking like, is he playing Armstrong there? Is he playing Walcott there? Is he playing Redmond there? Is he playing Gineppo there? But
if I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit with Redmond, it was a great performance against Bournemouth, but they are a championship squad.
Yeah.
There is that other little thing about it of, Redmond was really good when we played Portsmouth. He was wicked when he came on. In those sort of games, he is really, really good.
But that pass to the first goal, that was just brilliant. I mean, Gineppo had still a lot to do, but to cut out three of their defenders with one little side pass, that was fantastic.
This is purely This is what the voice of the forum say. On the banner page.
Whoa there!
This is that brain of. Is that his level? Was he good in that game because that's his level now? I do have that slight worry.
Okay,
but I still think you start.
I know what you're saying. It sounds harsh though, but I know what you're saying.
It's ridiculously harsh, and I almost don't want to say it. But I also understand that we've got options in that position, and there are players that are coming up and coming through. Like we all wanted Teller to start the other week, and I'm still very excited about Teller. I wouldn't start him in this game.
No,
I'm still very excited about him. And Gineppo is playing amazingly well. I would say, after Redmond, he was probably the best player in that Bournemouth game. After Redmond, so.
Yeah.
It's just hard. Maybe Redmond shouldn't be playing there. Maybe he needs to be playing up top. Maybe they need to make that decision of starting Gineppo on the wing and having Redmond and Shea or Redmond and Ings up top.
But who played that pass that cut open Chelsea?
Again,
Redmond.
Redmond.
So you can say that okay, you say good games against Bournemouth and that one against Portsmouth, he looked very, very good. But he has done some great things against formidable opponents. I mean, there was that slightly clumsy back heel in the Man City game, but still an assist.
It is still an assist, but he was.
So are you locking this one down, Jack? That is your middle of the park?
It's gonna be Redmond in the middle there. Yeah, and then it's just got. Then I think it's quite easy who you're putting up top, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think they really. We go Adams on this side, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it really matters, does it? They're all over the place.
It will be really interesting to see this squad because it will be, like you say, it will be a statement given the players that he's got and everyone's sort of full fitness. What we see will probably be what Ralph considers the strongest squad minus Romeo.
And that brings me beautifully on to my next question. Is there any positions here that worry you? It's kind of a leading question after the name that you just said, but is there any?
Listen, Diallo, I think, has been really good when he's in that number 6 role.
Mm-hmm.
okay, he was a little bit lost. What was the last game he played? Was he in the Bournemouth game? Or was he in the City game? What game was he playing?
Brighton game, wasn't it?
That's it, the Brighton game. Yeah, he was lost. Everyone was lost that game. Everybody was bad. So that was a bit of a weird one to find. But I think Diallo so far has been really, really great. I think although his passing isn't as forward and as advanced as Romeo's is, I think he's a safe on the ball.
Yeah.
And his job is almost, I've got the ball, where's Ward-Prowse? Or that's all he really needs to do. And he seems to be all right defensively as well. He can drive forward. So that squad is strong.
Yeah.
Diallo, you're right, probably be the weakest, but he's still coming through, so it's fine. Yeah,
it's not that he's weak. It's not that he's weak. It's the fact that he's not an out and out number 6.
Yeah.
So he's kind of, he's great at pushing forward, but I think, looking at the players that we have on the pitch who can already push forward very, very well, Armstrong, Redmond, and arguably, James Ward-Prowse almost takes more of a defensive role when Diallo's playing, from what I've seen. So it's just that aspect of the game of being able to hold the ball up, slow the pace of the game down, and sort of calm things down that I think Romeo's just fantastic at. And maybe I'm completely wrong here. Maybe we'll see a different aspect to the game, and Diallo's able to do that on Sunday. So
I think I can't remember which game it was when he was playing in the middle of the park, and then we put him into like right back or left back, I think it was, and it was just like, oh my god, with like that, it was a really noticeable effect on the game when he moved out of that position and we had someone kind of bodge jobbing in the middle there. It's like he just does a job in the middle of the park very decently, and he seems to be getting better and better and better. Same as Salasso. I think every time I see him, he seems to be an improved version of himself. So I think this will be a good game for him in regards to Burnley are hard. It'll be stuck up in the middle of the park a lot. I'm going to imagine on Sunday. I feel like in the midfield it's going to be it's won or lost. So hopefully this will be the game where we see him do something. This will be his big 45-yard screamer.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you bring up an excellent point. I think the game that we saw against Brighton, we were horrific in the middle of the park, and there were 2 big factors to that. Well, one major factor, that's lack of experience, and the fact that we had Teller, we had Minamino, and who else? Am I including Diallo include with that? But they weren't tracking back, they weren't moving back, and it was just leaving this big gaping hole in the middle of the park, and we've just been caught out. Comment here, maybe Ings won't be rushed back, so Redmond's still up top. That could be something. I wouldn't hate that. If it's the case that
we've got to look after him for Pep.
Yeah, we'll get onto that. Ings. So you could see, maybe Redmond sort of playing in Ings' role, sort of over here. So yeah, that could be something that end up seeing Redmond up top with Ings on the bench, waiting to come on to bang him in at 60 minutes. That could be something that works out. And then
I wouldn't be unhappy about that. I wouldn't be unhappy if that,
because you got Gineppo that could play that role. Yeah,
that's what I mean. You can start Gineppo there. It's kind of difficult for Danny because he wasn't on form when he left. And we all agreed that he needed a break.
He wasn't fully fit.
He wasn't fully fit, and now he's had a break. So every part of me is like, right, you start him now because he's had that break and he should be where he needs to be. If he's on the pitch now, this is how he plays.
Yeah.
So you should give him the opportunity to do it. But I just think him, Redmond, and Shea just don't. There's something not right there. So, like I say, it's always crowded. Redmond wants to progress a bit too much, it seems like, when he's in that role, and then he's in positions where Danny is. Where Danny drops back for the defense, he can't push up fast enough, so then he's sort of caught in that strange space. You almost could say pop. Like, it sounds so stupid, but you can almost pop Danny where like Redmond just to keep play Danny slightly deeper, or just don't get Danny to defend so much.
Yeah,
I mean, he gave away a penalty, didn't he? Like, against whatchamacallit. So
this is what you end up seeing a lot of, because Kyle Walker-Peters plays such an advanced role.
Yeah,
he's quite often there.
Yeah, absolutely.
and we tend to work out from this right side, so that you got to bear in mind, if you've not got the players tracking back in time, and you've got players pushing forward, then what happens?
Yep. Yeah, that is what our squad looks like most of the time.
And so, you lose the ball out of position, and then all of a sudden, and Bertrand, quite often sort of pushes up, and this is where we're getting caught out, is because we're losing possession and we're not passing the ball well. So that's what I've done to my graph here in my chart. That's what I don't know where to put them back now. Oh, what a mess.
This is where Mike gets called out. He doesn't actually know formations. He needs the formatting. Oh, no.
Where's the reset button? Where's the reset button? No, but you know what I mean. It's like you will pretty much see Redmond playing in a more advanced role, and pushing up front there. But again, it just sort of plays into who we're up against and who's in the Burnley lineup, and what they're going to be looking at. So, but anyway, I think we've dwelled enough on the formation. I hope everyone's enjoyed looking at those team sheets. So let's get into, and we will go into the Ings thing, because there's so much stuff going on at the moment. It's time to bring up score predictions. So now's the opportunity for everyone to stick in their score predictions. We're going to have Jack's going to read off the ones from Instagram that he picked out. And we will be reading out the ones in the chat section shortly. So everyone start smashing their keyboards with their score predictions for the Sunday midday kickoff. And do you know what, Jack? You can go first on this.
No, sir, it's your turn.
Is it my turn?
I actually remembered I went last time, so it is your turn.
Oh, this is a really hard one to pick out, though.
It is. It is for some people.
I'm going to say, do you know what? A repeat of 2016, 3-1.
Oh, I love it. I love what you're saying.
Yeah, because I just think we've got so much to prove, and they've got to be ramped up for this one. And with all the players coming back, hopefully there's still momentum there from the FA Cup game. Okay, it was 2 weeks ago, but I don't know. And with all the mix-up that's going on in goal right now, I can, maybe Chris Bunt scoring with elbows, as Freddie used to say, getting one in. But yeah, I'm going to go 3-1, and let's say goals. I'm going to go goal scorers as well. I'm all in. That's what I'm doing.
Good man.
You ready?
Even for Burnley.
Yeah, I am actually.
In order, please. Let's go for it.
In order. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go Ings. Then Burnley's going to equalise.
Obviously.
For the excitement only. And then we're going to see a Redmond goal.
Wow.
And Shea's going to get one.
I love that. Love everything about it.
Ings, Redmond, Shea.
I like everything you said there. apart from that bit where they equalise, I don't like that bit, but
Yeah, it's part of the show, isn't it?
Exactly.
Keeps the streams exciting.
Yeah, I think I'm not too far away. I'm gonna go 3-0.
Nice.
I'm gonna keep the clean sheet, because I feel like with Forster, with the team, like with the experienced team.
Mm-hmm.
I really would like us to keep a clean sheet. I almost said 1-0 because I just want to keep the clean sheet more than anything. I feel like just don't concede to Burnley.
Yeah.
So I in my mind 3-0. What for the good of the club, I would like it to be a Shea Adams brace and a James Ward-Prowse free kick. But for absolute headlines, I want a Danny Ings hat trick.
Oh wow! Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, could you imagine what the papers would be like on the Monday? Danny Ings hat trick.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
He's got to prove his price tag now. Yeah, we've got to get the most out of him.
We'll get onto that. So you're going 3-0. Are you going to go for your Ings hat trick?
I'm going to go for my Shea Adams brace, and
okay,
because that's what the team is.
Yeah.
I don't want people thinking Danny's leaving, Southampton are going to be terrible.
Right.
Because I feel like, after Ward-Prowse's performance and Shea and being a 12 o'clock kickoff, there might be a few more people that's a little bit interested in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if Danny comes back and scores a hat trick, suddenly the papers are all, it's a lot of unwanted pressure for Southampton for Danny with the whole Danny thing. So I want it to be Adams and James Ward-Prowse, but at the same time, I can't deny how much fun it would be if just this weekend after first game back after an injury, he just storms it, absolutely tears the doors off the place, and they're like, "Here you are, boys. You have Aguero. We'll take Danny."
Fantastic stuff. Well, that's pretty. That would be quite a headline thing, but again, it's a good shout. Shea's got goals, and as is Ward-Prowse, so that's a pretty decent shout. Right, let's get into the chat section whilst Jack is priming the Instagram ones. First one on the board, ITZ Callum's going for 9-0 cents.
Every week, someone's got to say it.
We love it. Always love to see it. It's going to happen one day.
I don't know. Japan, 14-0 Saints. I saw Minamino and Yoshida do it.
Wow, that'd be something.
I would say Burnley and Mongolia are on a par, are they not?
Let's go easy on the trash talk there, because that'll get clipped up by Burnley fans. So they do that,
Yeah, sorry, Burnley.
Look at these Saints boys. I reckon Burnley's on a par with Mongolia.
Are we going to tell the chat section that we got bantered by Richarlison on Twitter this week?
We got bantered by Richarlison on Twitter.
Absolute disgrace.
Yep.
I don't use Twitter a lot, but then I saw what are Brazilian internationals coming after you?
Yeah.
It's just not right. It's just not on.
It's great, those live watch-alongs that we do, because effectively that's what they are. It's a live feed of me doing the games. They're brilliant when they catch us. They're great for the away fans when they catch the away fans celebrating. And that's what they picked out on. So you got to put the good in with the bad, otherwise it's got no relevance. So there we go.
All I'm saying is, just for one of our players to cheer us up a little bit, just by saying, that's a nice video. That'd be really nice. and what's annoying is Kyle Walker-Peters saw it as well, so I know he could say something.
And Bertrand, yeah,
and Bertie,
yeah, we know you're watching on Instagram.
We know you're there, boys. Just come say hello.
Absolutely, come on,
Romeo, come on for the weekend.
Yeah, make it happen. Anyway, back to the score predictions. Steve's going for a 2-0. Zandif is going for a 2-0. Adams and James Ward-Prowse free kick. We like that. Steve, who are your scorers in that? Let us know. Nate Saint 194 is going for a 2-1 win, I'm presuming. It's definitely going to be 0-0 or 1-1, but I'll say 1-0 Saints to be positive.
Good boy. So he said 1-0 then, ignore the first bit.
Jack nor like a draw.
I know like a draw.
Dexter Venom, 4-2 Saints. God, that'd be a game, wouldn't it? Shadham's for 2, Armstrong for 1, Ings for 1. Nice. Steve says, Forster installs belief. He does indeed. So there we go. What's this? Richarlison searches his own name. He doesn't count.
It's the only way that's the only upside I can take from that. But then again, I search my own name as well.
Yeah,
it comes up, but
There's a comment here. Do Saints players see you? We did. They do. And I've had, we've both had replies from a few players privately, and it's great. It's brilliant because it's great to see them getting involved. And
what's funny is now that I'm on our Instagram a lot more. It's like, see, I've looked at the trends like, so these are the players to start mentioning because they're the ones who reply to everything.
Right.
If we don't get Musa Gineppo on the show, we've done something wrong.
Yeah. Oh, and Steve's put his goal scorers in Vestergaard and James Ward-Prowse.
Oof, I love that.
Vestergaard header, I'm guessing. Or maybe, you remember he had that screamer, literally just clipped the top of the crossbar in that last season against Brighton.
Well, it's clear that he's just got amazing power on his kicks because of the free balls. So that would be great. That would be great. I would love to see an absolute screamer from Vestergaard.
Breaking the goal. It's my birthday on Sunday. Hopefully Saints don't ruin it. It's your birthday and you get all those Easter eggs too. Happy days.
Happy days.
But yes, let's hope Saints don't ruin it. So, Instagram. Jack, take it away.
I got scores. So in that number podcast said 0-0, which I replied we don't do draws. So we said 1-0.
Jack, you can't bully people.
I can. I can bully them into. If we all think it will happen. Just go with me. And then Alfie Aubrey ruined it by saying 1-1. but Alfie Aubrey said 1-1. Andrew Hater says 3-1 Saints, and he says 2 goals from Adams and a goal from Teller.
Oh, okay.
So his starting lineup, it's either different to us or he thinks he's going to come on and score 1. And Alex Smith says 2-0 to the Saints. I know I got one on the stories as well, or a couple on the stories. I've not actually looked in a couple of hours. 13 Azza says 3-2 to Southampton. So there's more positivity than anything else. I've not seen anybody think this is going to be the loss.
Yeah,
I think more people think it's going to be the draw, but that's not how it works.
Yeah, difficult team to beat, Burnley. So we shall have to see. Well, thank you for those score predictions. That's absolutely fantastic. It appears to be a lot of threes in there. A lot of threes.
People like a 3.
Yeah. So this preview is proper long, isn't it? It's because it's been such a long time. But we will talk about Danny Ings' future because a lot of people are speculating. There's a lot of chat, which seems to be motivated by movement elsewhere.
Yeah.
Whether it be Harry Kane needs to go somewhere and get some trophies, get some success in the league, and Sergio Aguero will be leaving Man City, and it all just starts to spark off these conversations about Danny Ings' contract. So we've got a year left. What's going to happen? There's a stipulation that he wants to put in the contract that basically has a buyout clause, which Danny, I believe, wants at 20 million, 25 million.
Yeah.
And the club want a 45 million. And to that, I can understand where both sides, where the club's coming from. I can understand where Danny's coming from. You know, these are elite footballers. They've only got a certain amount of years to earn their keep. And ultimately, it's every football player's dream to lift a trophy and play at the highest level. So, you know, fair play. Won't ever let anyone stand in the way of anyone progressing on what they want to do. But the only gripe I've got, and it's basically this. Last season, Man City bought Nathan Ake for 40-something million.
Yeah.
And Nathan Ake is sat on the bench at Man City. But regardless, 41 million. So why on earth would we suddenly have a situation where Danny Ings, the most sought after English striker, going for 20-something million? Am I missing something? It's like that is the only part of this that's just driving me nuts. It's like literally, I mean, if Erling Haaland starts a bidding war where he's going to Chelsea or if he's going to Man United, don't go to Man United.
He's not going to United. Roy Keane killed his dad. He ain't going to United.
Or is he going to Manchester City, which would be, as a neutral watching Man City, that would be fantastic. I would love to see a Pep managed Erling Haaland. That would be insane. So that's why I want him to go. But because of the fact that Pep's thinking, or the seniorities at Man City think, we don't want to get involved in Erling Haaland. Let Chelsea spend 160 million on him. And we don't want to get involved. We'll just buy.
Did you just say City and be like, oh, we're not going to spend that much on it? Man City! They don't care.
They don't spend. Well, they've had their fingers burnt a few times with these legislation and sort of FIFA fair play and all this sort of stuff.
Have they?
They nearly got kicked out of the Champions League.
But did they, though?
They did, and then it got overturned.
Though? Exactly.
Yeah, I know it works.
It don't matter.
But that's my thing. It's like, why on earth would Danny Ings be leaving our club for 20-something million?
It just that price is the Tottenham talking, isn't it? What that sounds to me is the rumours in the summer when it was like, oh, Danny Ings is going to Spurs, and we were like, what? Why would he do that? And now that Kane really should leave, I feel Kane wants trophies, he should leave.
Yeah.
So now that that swings back around to, okay, then Danny probably could go to Spurs. And Spurs would only, 20 mil is what Spurs think a Southampton player is worth.
Yeah.
Regardless of who they are, what they're doing, they think a Southampton player is worth about 20 million. And that's just stupid. I don't want to. If we sell Danny Ings to Spurs for 20, or 25 or even 30.
Mm-hmm.
No, because you can sell him to a bigger side who will spend more money for him, and it's just unfortunately for Danny, it's not up. It's not up to him whether they play him or not.
No.
Like, sorry, mate, we're saying to City over Spurs for the money, but it might not be a better move for you. But if you want to leave,
yeah, and to be very clear, I've got no grievances with Danny Ings whatsoever in any of this. I mean, he's got an absolute right to do what he wants to do. I mean, it's devastating to think that he might not be a Southampton player next season, but he's done some great things for the club, and have the utmost respect for me, and for the great goals that he scored. I see a lot of comments here about him only have 1 year left on his contract. I get that, but in the same regard, it's like it's Danny Ings. It's almost like if that's the case, I'd rather him go on the free next summer.
Yeah.
Well, let's be quite honest. It's like you can say
about that,
but the wages, like who are you going to get for 20 million?
Oh, for 20
next season, who are you going to get for 20 million?
Here's the thing: that 20 million doesn't necessarily go on the Danny Ings position. That 20 mil could go on another number 6, another CDM, or it could go on another winger. It could go on another fullback. It could go on a Ryan Bertrand replacement. I think you could get a decent Premier League proven fullback. Off the top of my head, I'm not going to start naming names because I'll get it wrong. But I feel like there's Ralph has admitted that squad depth is a real issue for us now.
Yeah,
so
it is.
This summer is going to have to be one of our busiest, and I think this summer was very busy for us. So
it's a great summer.
It's people say this on the Joe as much as they want, but I think in terms of getting players in, we got lots of players in, and the transfer window was just harsh to everyone. It was awful for everybody. Suffered this time around. It was tough for everyone, and now Ralph has now gone. Oh, actually, it was a mistake to thin out the herd as drastically as he did.
Yeah.
I think Ralph has admitted his failings there, and if you're willing to listen to him say that, you can see that there's progression within him. If he's willing to admit he got the thinning out wrong, that he knows that the plan, having a plan B, having the tactic change, he's looking at that. He's not being stupid every game. He knows what he's doing, which is what you want. So now going to this summer, it's like I would, 30 mil. I've just seen there, the Liverpool salon clause. So even if we get 40 for him, we might only get like 30 for him. But I said it in the, when I was talking about maybe Redmond leaving. There are players in the squad that if they have to go, they can go because we need to get more depth and build a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be sad to see him go, but I'm not alarmed by it. I think there's stuff that we could do. Goal scoring. He's dropped off a bit this season. Whether he picks that up again, that's the other thing as well. If you say these teams are looking at him, it's like, well, what's he scored 7? Is it 7 goals this season so far?
Mm-hmm.
So way off his tally from last season, and he's been injury prone, and he's not looked good since coming back from injury.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love him, we even talking just a minute ago, like maybe don't start him this weekend ahead of Shea Adams.
Yeah.
Like he's not the one playing for international football right now.
No.
He's not our international striker. So like it's hard when you start to be a bit harsh about it and you start to think it through. It's like it's not the worst thing to happen if it does.
Mm-hmm.
Just if it does, can it be the best for the club? Can we get can we make sure what happens to us is we get a decent money for it? And this summer's going to be interesting. This summer's going to be interesting anyway. But I heard that massive ping.
Sorry, I just smashed my head. And sorry for distracting everyone with the graphic changes. I thought, as we weren't talking about Burnley anymore. I thought I'd change it around. There we go. But great comment here from Cameron. 20 mil will go towards Theo and maybe Saki. These are both players that we don't own as yet. Whether or not we can, sort something on the Theo wages, but it's 20 million.
Yeah,
it feels like nothing.
But at the same time, if Minamino's being asked for 9, is Danny?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I think that maybe we're just
the way it works is you have a player, okay, and every football agent knows this. You have a player who's worth this much, and then if he's an English national, he's worth this much.
Yeah. I think the
other Andy Carroll, 40-something million.
Yeah. Yeah. How much did Mike Ashley pay for him? Come back. But I watched a really good interview with it was with Arsene Wenger the other day. It was so hard to watch. He's a very dry man, but he was talking about how he feels like the bubble on players' salary and players' value is almost it's hit this peak, and it's like, you know, we've given Corona, given the last and the difficulty of the last transfer, given quarantines, given everything that we've got, maybe just the value of, you know, the values might just go down a little bit. You might see them just decrease a little bit. So, like I say, 9 mil for Minamino. You know, Liverpool bought him for what, 12? I mean, they bought him for 15 plus. I think it wasn't too much because it's Liverpool.
Yeah.
But has he really declined that much? You know, it's maybe there's just we might see this summer a little bit of discrepancy in player value. Like you're going to see Haaland if he goes for, I don't know, 150 maybe. You might see 190. You might see something like groundbreaking for him. I feel like for most other players, you're going to maybe see a lot of Ings level players go for about 20 to 30. So it's hard to say. It's hard to predict what it's going to be like in the summer, like for the transfers. It's going to be crazy, and to make it even worse, because of the Euros, transfers will be pushed even further.
What do you mean? Like,
when the Euros is on, everyone waits till after the Euros for the transfers, really, don't they?
Yeah, because they're like thinking, I might get injured.
There might be a surprise player at the tournament who sparks a few interest. So that's going to be, it's going to be a bit of a torturous summer. I feel like it's going to be a bit like, all right, can we get this Euros so we can figure out what Southampton's going to be like? Or as always, it's England, the Euros. We're all band together and be like, forget Premier League for a while. It's coming home.
It is going to be a weird thing. I mean, can you imagine if Ings and Prowse make the England squad?
It's going to be something.
That will be a very, very nervous summer for us Saints fans.
I feel like in the last 8 games of the season, I think Kyle Walker-Peters could prove himself into the England squad.
You reckon?
I think maybe not in the starting lineup, but I think in given current form, I think he's a better right back than Wan-Bissaka is, and I think he's probably top 5 in the league.
I agree.
And I think that, if given Trent sort of dip recently, and Reece James sort of coming in, I prefer Kyle Walker-Peters over Reece. I know that's biased, but I do think he's better than Reece James. People might not agree, but that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he could maybe try and push himself into the squad in the summer. But I think James Ward-Prowse is going. I think everyone's kind of realised.
Yeah.
But it'd be a bit of a difficult summer if Ings goes and he goes.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not even talk about that.
Let's not even look at that. Let's not even think about that. He's staying. He's a one club man. He's the new Letizia.
Absolutely.
James Ward God.
So that is our thoughts on the situation. I think we ought to do an episode just on this topic alone, as we get closer to the end of the season, perhaps, to see everyone's genuine mood, because this is officially the longest ever preview we've done by some distance. But we've missed everyone.
We've been away.
It's been a while.
I mean, we've not even talked about the semi-finals and the fact that some people might be going.
It'll be locals. I said it today. 4,000 locals.
What? I mean, how many local Southampton fans living in London?
Well,
that's a disgrace sort of thing. It should be locals to Southampton, and they should organise, like the club, should organise a COVID-free get down there thing.
It's the travel thing, isn't it? It's like that's what they're looking at. So people traveling, and there's other stuff going on that weekend, I think, and they're worried about it. Just
not to be mean to any London supporting fans, but that there are diehards at this club that even I think we deserve to go, but I know there are players, there are supporters at the club that they're the ones that should be going to the semi-finals.
Yeah, and it's it's something that's it's devastating to think that we're going to miss out on a trip to Wembley.
Even even worse for Leicester fans. I mean, being slightly further up the country, it's like, really, the London Alliance of Leicester fans are going, what? Why?
Do you know what? There could be someone out watching this right now who's a Southampton fan who lives literally just outside Wembley Park. Can you imagine that? Going
and this is no hate on you at all, but I just feel like the like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of giving tickets to people from London when the clubs aren't from London? It just doesn't make sense for me. I'd rather just not have people there.
It's going to be a weird atmosphere, though. Can you imagine, like, the sort of build up to goals and people like, oh, they scored. Oh. What are they going to do? It's going to be like,
wouldn't it be? I feel like it'd be the worst thing, because I feel like the people from London who would get it will probably be the more corporate sponsored people. There's 4,000 people, so it'll be the corporate people that get it, and it'll be like the worst way to watch football. Be like, everyone sat at home, and these corporate idiots won't be half watching the game.
Yeah. The most spaced out Mexican wave ever.
They're all be taking the free throw on the inside. Just it'd be the worst.
Yeah. But let's hope we can do the business and get into the final. Where we will be able to go. So let's hope for that. But a lot of games going around in that period, though.
There is a lot. All I'm hoping is City get knocked out, because if City go through with stuff, everybody should be wanting City to lose everything right now, because I don't want them to win a quadruple. I don't want them to win a treble. Like, they're going to win the league. Don't let them have the Champions League as well.
I agree.
Let them be the PSG of England.
Yeah, but they, all these, they're beatable on the day.
They are.
We've beaten Chelsea, we have beaten Leicester, and we've beaten Man City.
Exactly. That's the way to look at it.
Within the last 12 months. Yes.
And then.
This is fact.
And only one of those teams have won 9-0.
Yeah, we're just going to banter ourselves. Absolutely banter ourselves on that.
We're allowed to. Robbie Savage is not, nor is Danny Murphy.
Yeah, ever.
Nor is Rich Arlison.
Well, I think that pretty much ties up. Anything else you want to address in this bumper preview? There's going to be people literally logging on to this again, thinking like, are they still chatting? We're like, yes.
This is the longest I've spoken in about 2 weeks.
I know.
This is definitely the longest conversation I've had in a long time.
Yep, absolutely. No, you got nothing, Jack? Are we done?
I'm just excited for Sunday. I'm happy that the football's back. There's a lot of unknown in our future, so let's just concentrate on Sunday.
Absolutely. So there it is. We're back to where we started. The preview of the Southampton game up against Burnley. We're all feeling pumped. Premier League football is back. It's not been the worst international break. It's been actually quite decent with the feature from Southampton players involved in the international squads. But we are thrilled to be back on Sunday. We'll be doing the live watch along and the post-match review of the game. Jack is going for a 3-0.
3-0.
With Sherdham's brace and the James Ward-Prowse free kick.
Oh, your memory's good, sir.
And I'm going for a 3-1 win to the Saints with, who did I say? Ings, equaliser. And then, was it Ings, Redmond, and Sherdham's? That's it. I remembered yours. I didn't even remember mine.
Who's going to score for Burnley? Is it just going to be J-Rod to...
No, Chris Wood. It's going to be a scrappy goal. It's not going to be like those goals they scored against Everton. It's going to be a Burnley goal.
It's going to be a Burnley goal. Yeah. That's the way it goes. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thanks to everyone who's joined us in the chat section. If you've made it all the way through the video, congrats, man. Congrats to you all. It's fantastic work. But we will, of course, be back live on Sunday. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will see you all in the next one. All right. Am I going to do an outro video? Yeah, well, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. It's going to crash. It's going to crash. Right, we'll see you there. Bye.